And now at 5, caught on cam. A teen accused of stealing a vape at a gas station. But that's not the reason this teen is now facing adult charges. We have the other crimes that he's now accused of in Johnson County.
And liquor license denied. Why Metro Police call this downtown nightclub a problem property.
And hope you're enjoying the fall weather that's now moved in. We've got a little patchy frost in the forecast. We'll let you know who has the best chance to see frost in the morning.
Well, here we are. The Colts are just a few days away from potentially being 5-1 on the year. If they do that, they'll have to take down the Arizona Cardinals, a very hungry team coming in on Sunday. I'll have a preview coming up in sports. Live from Indy, you're watching 13 News.
Good evening. A 16-year-old is facing felony charges tonight, accused of sexually assaulting a 79-year-old woman in her home in New Whiteland.
Prosecutors say the suspect prayed with the woman right before the attack. And as Jenny Runovich reports, the action of a gas station owner nearby were key to his arrest.
Inside a New Whiteland Sunoco, police say this is the teen charged with felony rape and strangulation, accused of sexually assaulting a 79-year-old grandmother in her home. Surveillance cameras capturing 16-year-old Ariane Smith trying to steal a vape just minutes after the alleged attack.
G is running.
But he still grabbed another one and just ran.
The gas station owner calling 911, chasing Smith down, helping police make an arrest.
I just did what things in my head at that moment. I didn't think anything else what happened. Just went follow him, and I would like him to get caught.
Little did Demery know he caught someone accused of something much more heinous before the theft, just blocks away.
It's heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking.
Prosecutors say Smith attacked a 79-year-old unloading groceries into her home. According to court documents, Smith was a runaway who'd left his home without permission and Tuesday morning spotted an open door. The probable cause says the grandmother came face to face with Smith, who grabbed her, put his hand over her mouth. That's when the victim tried to stall him, asking Smith to pray with her. He did, and then police say he raped her.
She tried to reason with him. She tried to delay whatever he was going to do and ask him to pray with her, and that seemed to have worked according to the PCA. And then right after that, the sexual assault began.
Smith now facing serious prison time, charged as an adult per state law.
Thank goodness the Indiana legislature has recognized that juveniles can commit very serious adult crimes and that they should be treated as adults because of it.
Police say this teen ran off after the alleged attack, went to that gas station where its owner proved to be his downfall.
I feel so happy, and by God's grace, I'm okay, and he got caught, and another person will not get hurt in the future, you know.
In New Whiteland, Jenny Runovich, 13 News.
And the Johnson County prosecutor asked the court for a $250,000 cash bond for Smith, and that's more than 15 times the standard bond for a level 3 felony. Tonight, a downtown nightclub could soon be out a liquor license.
The Marion County Alcohol Board denied a request from the Moon Bar and Grill to renew their alcohol license. Our Ashton Hackman now explains what's next for this bar that IMPD is now calling a, quote, problem property.
A problem property, IMPD says, not only because of the significant number of calls to Moon Bar and Grill since it opened, but how significant those calls have become.
Several fights and thefts, underage arrests, even shots fired. Just some of the receipts IMPD nuisance abatement brought to a hearing before the Marion County Alcoholic Beverage Board.
When a location has repeated calls for service, especially in the form of disturbances or violent crimes, it drains our police resources and it threatens community safety. We want businesses to succeed, but that cannot come at the cost of community safety.
The bar's liquor license expires on November 12th. Owner TJ Singh is asking to renew it, but a 3-1 vote by the county board denied that request. The board said letters of concern from neighbors and businesses influenced their decision as well.
Ahead at 6, hear the argument the owner told the alcohol board as he made his argument for a liquor license extension. In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
An appeal for the county board's denial now moves to the state board. The Moon Bar and Grill owner declined an interview for this story after Ashton made that request today.
Vice President J.D. Vance is planning another trip to Indiana as state Republicans consider redistricting. Our partners at the Capitol Chronicle report that he will meet with lawmakers in Indy this Friday. The Chronicle reports he will specifically meet with the Indiana Senate Republican caucus, where they've not been able to reach an agreement on whether to draw a new congressional map. This would be the vice president's second trip in just 2 months. You may remember he was here in August. He did not speak with the media, but after the meeting, Governor Braun told us they did talk about redistricting.
If you're keeping track, we're now in the second week of the federal government shutdown.
And late this afternoon, the Treasury Department announced it's furloughing more than 34,000 IRS workers, and that's nearly half the workforce.
Now the White House says that furloughed workers may not be entitled to back pay. Yamiche Alcindor reports now from the nation's capital.
Day 8 of the government shutdown, and there is no end in sight as federal workers and union leaders plea for a solution.
So today I call on leaders from both parties to sit down together, work out your differences, and find a solution that reflects the best of America, just like federal employees do every single day.
But so far, demands for compromises have not moved Republicans or Democrats. Today, the Senate voting again and failing again to pass a bill to reopen the government. Frustration spilling over on Capitol Hill.
How about you go down the hall and go vote to open the government up?
Now the shutdown forcing federal workers still on the job to make some tough decisions.
Will I be able to pay my bills? Will I be able to pay my mortgage?
No American should ever have to choose between serving their country and feeding their family.
Lack of funding also hitting programs designed to help struggling families, forcing states to make moves to save services in jeopardy, including the Women, Infants, and Children program that feeds more than 6 million low-income families.
You're a new mom, you got kids under the age of 5, an infant, we're taking care of you. We'll make sure it continues until the federal government gets its act together.
Democrats say they're fighting to keep health care premiums from skyrocketing and getting an unlikely Republican ally.
For the health insurance issue, it's happening right now. These premiums are going to go up.
Meanwhile, as all this plays out, furloughed federal workers are worried they may not get back pay after the government reopens. A draft White House memo argues they're not entitled to back pay, though after past shutdowns, workers have received it. Yamiche Alcindor, NBC News, Washington.
.506, this is what we're seeing for downtown Indy, preparing for a beautiful sunset.
Yes, beautiful today, but cooler, and that's why frost is back in the forecast for some places. So we're in the Weather Center tonight with Rob Ellis, who's in for Angela, and we're looking at this, and you know, you're a gardener,
Yes.
I'm a gardener, I'm like, wait, are you really saying we're gonna have a frost advisory for tonight?
I do really think it's only the gardeners that are worried about patchy
I'm
frost,
worried
right?
about this.
Yeah, but did you not get the cannas out of the ground, the dahlias out of the ground?
No, they're still there.
They're
The
still
bulbs
there.
are still there. Of course I'm behind.
Yeah, well, you had plenty of time to do it, but now it looks like we're going to have a chance for some patchy frost. And not for everybody, and I think the patchy frost is going to be okay if you're, say, Indian Point to the south. The city's probably going to stay much, much warmer. I think some of those areas in Madison and Hamilton County, this is really for the northern parts of the county where the temperatures may drop down into the mid-30s, but there are areas right close to the ground where we may see a little bit of patchy frost develop. We're currently sitting in the 70s and 60s, and that seems like a long way to go before we get down to the mid-30s, but we've got all the right conditions. Clear skies are with us. We've got dry air that's in place. The temperatures are going to drop pretty quickly through the rest of this evening. We'll be likely even into the 40s by the time we get past midnight. And then from there, for most of you, it's going to be the 40s, especially if you're in Indianapolis. 41 is our expected low temperature. But there are going to be a lot of outlying locations that'll get much cooler than that, especially the farther north you go. I know you look at this and you go, hang on, patchy frost at 37. What's going on here? That's because that may be the air temperature at 2 meters, which is what we forecast for. But right close to the surface, you can get some of that extremely cold air to drop down to as low as 32, which is why we're expecting a little patchy frost north of Indy.